Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Them Nerds. Today we are going to be talking with you about something very near and dear to my heart, Star Wars. But first, we want to remind you that we are running a contest to help boost our subscriber base. To get us to 100 subscribers, we are giving away a Spider-Man Funko Pop for one of our first 100 subscribers. To be eligible, you must comment on one of our videos so that we know who you are, because a lot of you have your subscriptions private, and we want as many of you as possible to be eligible. Okay. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at We Them Nerds. All right, so today on our special Top 5 Tuesday, we are going to be talking about something similar to what we talked about last week. Last week, we talked about the top 5 Marvel properties that we would like to see adapted onto Disney+. Today, we're doing the same sort of thing for Disney's other big nerd property, and that is Star Wars. So today, we are talking about the top 5 Star Wars properties we would like to see adapted onto Disney+. Jerry, kick us off, man. What do you have, number 5?
All right, my first one is a game that came out for PS3. It was called Star Wars Unleashed, which is the story of a character named Starkiller, who is the apprentice of Darth Vader, and his basically is trained to be a Jedi killer. And so I thought it'd be a cool idea to have him, running around fighting these Jedi. He's really not a bad, like a villain character. He's more of just like a messed up kid. And so to see that journey go through, and I think it would be awesome to see a live action, because the game, especially for a PS3 game, was amazing. So it'd be an awesome thing to go ahead and branch out on and build on the story.
Sure, yeah. Starkiller is one of those fan favorite characters that a lot of people clamor for bringing into canon. The one concern is always that he might be a little bit overpowered, but all they would have to do is just kind of tame down his abilities, at least at first, but follow the same story, because it is, you're right, a great story. That's a good one. For my number 5, I am going to also delve into the video games a little bit. Like every other Star Wars fanboy out in the world, predictable, I am choosing Revan. I am not like super knowledgeable about the games that Revan was the star of. I was doing other things in life at that time, but for those of you that don't know, he is he was the star of the 2003 game Knights of the Old Republic, and then he reappeared in other games as well. He is a beloved expanded universe character. People love Revan. He had a run on the light side, he had a run on the dark side. There were like split personality issues. There were his spirit left his body. I mean, there was all kinds of nonsense that went on with him. I would like to see him brought in an epic live action series, very akin to The Mandalorian. I think they could get many seasons out of his story. A TV series could explore all that lore, and I think that they've done such a great job with The Mandalorian that they would knock this one out of the park. It would allow them to bring in a lot of other fan favorite characters like Darth Malak, Bastila Shan, HK-47, the assassin droid. I do see one problem here, possibly, and that is that he is so ingrained in that like expanded universe pre-Disney canon fandom that I don't know that it would necessarily go over as well as it should. People really like to hang on to the past when it comes to some of these characters, and if it's not, exactly like they want it to be, then I could see people being, unhappy with it. But I would like to see them do something with Revan, and I think they will. As we said recently, Darth Bane has been bandied about, and it seems like, just like with Grand Admiral Thrawn, they're going to be going back into the expanded universe legends and bringing those things into the main continuity of the canon. So that's my number 5. What's next for you?
Well, I'll go ahead and stick in that same realm, because I feel like they should do an actual live TV series of the Knights of the Old Republic. really devil into the whole story behind it. I think it could be on the same level as like a Game of Thrones kind of series. You have Darth Malik going out trying to kill off these soldier Jedi like kind of characters, and the battles alone will be amazing.
Sure.
So and I like you said, it could be multi-arc where you have a chance to break off characters from that series and actually build upon your the larger base, I guess, or
sure. Yeah, take kind of a general Knights of the Old Republic series, and then you could do offshoots and spinoffs and so on. Yeah. I think that would be great. That's a time frame that a lot of fans love, and that Disney hasn't really done anything with yet. They will. Don't doubt that for a second. Cool. I have the same fear with with Knights of the Old Republic as I do with Revan as a standalone, and that is that those old school expanded universe fans are going to say, oh, that's not how it was in the books. That's not how it was in the video games. So, but after seeing The Mandalorian, I'm not going to doubt anything that they put out until after I see it, because they did an amazing job with that. So next up for me, I am a huge fanboy of the Clone Wars. And there's one episode in the Clone Wars that I've always really liked that I thought would make for the seed of a great series. I would love to see an animated Jedi Academy series. There was a Clone Wars episode in which Ahsoka and Yoda go and help the Padawans find their kyber crystals. And you have this little cast of these younglings. I don't even think they were Padawans yet. They were just younglings trying to find their kyber crystals and build their lightsabers. And I would love to see a kid-friendly show that follows them. It could take place anywhere between the High Republic, which is the next time frame that we're going to see in the, at least in the novels, the High Republic, which is, I believe it's about 100 years before the Phantom Menace. Anywhere from there all the way up to Order 66. And I actually think that it would be kind of cool to tie it into Order 66 as a finale. There's a lot of opportunities for bringing in well-known characters. Anakin, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Yoda, some of the minor Jedi that were in the animated series, especially like Plo Koon. I would love to see them as kind of like these like headmasters and professor types, there to support a cast of fresh characters. And it's an easy out. They can be canon and still not, and still explain their disappearance, because if we run into Order 66, we know what happened to them. Yeah. Most of them anyway. So that's my number 4. Jerry, what do you got up next?
Akira series from the character that was introduced in Solo, a Star Wars story. I thought it might be cool to be able to branch off of what happens between them being children when she was taken, and you finally see her again in the Solo story, and then maybe do flash forwards also where you see what's going on after that movie. So see why she knows who Darth Maul is, and how she got part of I believe it was Crimson Dawn was the group. Yeah. Find out how she got so high up in there and how she became such a good, basically a space pirate. So this watching her, those kind of stories, and it's a side character that got, I think people, love or hate the movie. You can't say the casting wasn't good. Right. So, and actually, in my opinion, the movie was actually good. So I think that it would be a way to expand on her story. And then if they do have a second sequel that comes out, then you could already have more of her backstory also already. Yeah,
that would have been fleshed out. And kind of for my next one, going off what you were just talking about, my next entry would be a sort of criminal underworld style series, full live action series, specifically about the Black Sun, a criminal syndicate headed up by Darth Maul. It's in the period between Maul kind of taking over and Solo to kind of fill in that blank. I would love to see this also be used as a vehicle to introduce a live action version of one of my favorite characters, Asajj Ventress, who was the Sith acolyte to Count Dooku, who was later sort of kicked to the curb by him. And there is a novel called Dark Disciple that features Asajj Ventress kind of helping a Jedi by the name of Quinlan Vos, who is also kind of an outcast within the Jedi Order. He doesn't play by the rules, and so they kind of send him out on these weird errands. And the two of them are involved with Black Sun and trying to retrieve a kidnapped victim. The style for me would be a very like Cloak and Dagger kind of, lots of whodunit and where are we going with this? Lots of surprises and twists. I would love to see the characters that would be involved with this, aside from Darth Maul, who would be great, and Quinlan Vos, Asajj Ventress. You could introduce many new characters. There's even a Hutt that's closely involved with Black Sun, Zero the Hutt. And I think that it would be a really cool way to sort of build on the property of these kind of like criminal characters. It would tie into what you're talking about also with Kira. And George Lucas once pitched sort of an Underworld series that was supposed to take place during the prequels, and it was supposed to take place in the lower levels of Coruscant. And this could sort of take a cue from that and sort of fill that hole that fans have always thought, what would have happened if, and we kind of fill that space in. Anyway, what do you have up next?
All right, so my next one is going to be probably a series that people would not normally want to see. He definitely wasn't a favorite character to many people in there, but I think it would make an excellent kid-friendly animated story where you watch his travels after the original trilogy. I think they should bring back Jar Jar Binks in a kids animated series. So I think he goes through all these travels. You watch him. He watches Luke and Leia grow up. Maybe he becomes a senator, or maybe he becomes a queen. I don't know. Just like a little adventures. You can be whatever you want if you try hard enough.
Right.
You just watch these like crazy little adventures that like similar to being like how on from Frozen, how they branched off that and gave Olaf basically his own series where he has these little little one-up things that are 20 or 30 minutes where you just like the wild adventures of Jar Jar Binks where he falls into a spaceship and you just see him like bumping between planets until he finally crash lands, and then try to watch him not get shot. Like I think it would be a great series for kids to watch that can kind of redeem him from the movies and make him more lovable towards the children.
Right. Yeah. He could kind of be like the Mr. Bean of the Star Wars universe. He bumbles his way through all of these adventures, but actually ends up like saving the day, and he doesn't even know why.
Exactly. I think that it's a missed opportunity for something that they can put out that could be, you can just have your kids fall in love with the whole Star Wars series by watching, the character that most adults who got excited about the idea of the original trilogy coming out, walking out saying, why did they create this character?
Right. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. One thing that I know for a fact is you bringing up Jar Jar Binks will probably get us a few comments.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Jar Jar Binks, Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks, is such a cool guy, and it always is like a scar on the fandom to me how people treated him after that character was ill received. It's like the dude is just acting. Like, why, the people were so mean to him, and he's on a new show on Disney Plus. What is it, like Jedi Temple Challenge or something? He's like the host, and it's a kid's like a Double Dare kind of. And he
now imagine that being directed or being hosted by Jar Jar Binks.
They made him a Jedi Knight on the show. See? But anyway, all right. One of my favorite characters in Star Wars is Leia Organa. And so for my number 2 choice, I would love to see a live action show featuring Leia as a rebel spy. Leia as a teenager, in A New Hope, she was a teenager still. She was 19. And I would love to see the years leading up to that. There is a little bit of a tie-in with Rebels. There was an episode of Rebels where she was on there as a rebel spy. So we know that that's kind of what she was doing, in the years leading up to A New Hope. It would follow her throughout her teen years. I would love to see the sort of conflict between her and her adopted father, Senator Bail Organa, as she's like, Dad, I want to go do spy stuff. And he's like, stay in your room. I would love to see, however long they make it, I want to see it lead directly up to the final scene of Rogue One, where she is handed the Death Star plans. Even if the finale is just her heading to Scarif to go receive the plans, I want it to match up to the end of Rogue One. They have a Cassian Andor series that is coming up, and I would love to see it tied in to that. I've thought this for a while. I want to see teenage Princess Leia played by Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11 on Stranger Things. I think she would be great. I think she looks similar enough, and I think she's a very good actress, and I think that she could pull it off majorly. So that is my number 2. Jerry, what do you got?
All right, my one, I want you guys to really think about this. If you've ever watched Battlestar Galactica, there is their whole point of keeping the Federation alive, or the planets of alive from the Cylon, is the idea that they send out these scout ships ahead to find out whether or not there's Cylons there or not first. So you have this fleet of ships, but then you have smaller ships that shoot out first to see and spy out. So I think that what they should do is a Poe series where you watch him become the great fire pilot he is on the movie. They never really explain why he's so good as good as he is. And you just watch him. The series is built around the idea whether these scout ships going out and fighting the Emperor or Empire and protecting the remaining rebellion.
Great. Who doesn't love space battles?
Exactly.
All right. For my number 1, I am once again going back to the Clone Wars. My number 1 choice for a Star Wars property. I wouldn't want to see it as a series, I don't think. I think I would want to see it as an epic love story film. The love story of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Mandalorian Duchess Satine Kryze. The relationship was alluded to in the Clone Wars, and we came to learn that Obi-Wan had gone to protect her when he was a Padawan with Qui-Gon Jinn. They had fallen in love, and at the last minute, he decided that he was going to continue being a Jedi. It's one of these parallels that Obi-Wan has to Anakin. Obi-Wan follows the rules. He's a Jedi. Anakin doesn't follow the rules. He's tempted. And in their love life, it's the same way, right? Anakin cannot stay away from Padme, whereas Obi-Wan sacrifices his relationship to maintain order. Eventually, Maul, who is perpetually Obi-Wan's nemesis, kills Duchess Satine right in front of him, and she dies in his arms. And as she dies, she says, I've always loved you. And he, in one of the few moments where you see him get really, it's really the most emotional Obi-Wan scene that I've seen, other than when he had his duel on Mustafar with Anakin. He said, if you would have just told me to leave, I would have left. And, you think about the whole saga and how that could have changed things, right? It's such a big moment. It really this story cements Obi-Wan as like the truest Jedi. He is the greatest Jedi Knight. And I would love to see this as a movie, full treatment. I don't know if movie theaters would be good for it, but for sure Disney Plus. Maybe even a miniseries, stretch it out to about 4 or 5 hours of content. But it's such a small a small piece of the overall mythos that
So I don't want like a limited series.
That would work. Yeah. And there are some tie-ins. Bo-Katan Kryze is going to be in The Mandalorian, played by Katie Sackhoff of Battlestar Galactica. And a fun little nugget that I just found out, actually, Princess Leia's blaster pistol, the model is called Satine's Lament. It's named after Duchess Satine, which is kind of cool. The only thing that I would kind of be concerned about is I don't know if I would recast Ewan McGregor. He is Obi-Wan Kenobi to me. So maybe they could de-age him, but I think he would need to be in this, and they'd have to figure that out because I don't know how they could possibly recast him for this. So that is my number one. Big surprise, it's something Clone Wars related. You'll come to find I like the Clone Wars.
Yeah, my favorite part of that story is when she's like, "I'll never let you go, Obi. I'll never let you go."
Right.
And then he slowly sinks into the water.
There was enough room on that spaceship door. Leave it to Jerry to bring Titanic into the mix. All right, guys. So those are our top 5. What are your top 5? What's your favorite? What would you like to see? What do you think of our suggestions? Especially Jar Jar Binks. I know that's going to get some comments.
They made stupider shows.
That is true. Just a reminder, we are running our 100 subscriber contest. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment on a video. We have to see a comment so we know who you are. Follow us on social media at We Them Nerds, and that'll do it for us.
I just want to say one thing before we go about the Jar Jar Binks thing, because many of you in the audience were fooled by a show where a girl just wore a different wig and became Hannah Montana. So don't act like you can't be fooled by a Jar Jar Binks show. It could be just as exciting. It could be best of both worlds also.
All right. I'll give it a shot. I would be sold. Bring it on. Bring on the Jar Jar.
And I think Miley Cyrus should be the new Jar Jar Binks.
I think she could pull that off, actually. Okay.
Later, guys.
Bye. Be good. Be good to each other. Bye.